Hey friends, although we are doing a series to the book of Galatians, this last Sunday was Mother's Day, and we took a little bit of a reprieve from our usual Galatians teaching, although the body of the Galatians message is around not mixing law and grace. And I think for moms, this is a very applicable teaching. Not just a teaching, but it's the gospel, how it applies to our family, to parenting, to mothers in general. I know over my experience of Christianity over the last 4 decades, I've seen the pendulum swing in both directions. I've seen moms that were brutally hard on their children and parenting that made no allowances for any what was called worldliness. I remember people coming to my house and reprimanding us because we had dinosaur toys for our kids, and this was associated with evolution in their opinion. And we just wanted to do the right thing, so we got rid of the toys. Like in my early Christian life, got rid of all my music, and on the one hand there's some benefit to that, getting rid of your music, not the dinosaurs, because it sort of broke their contact with the past life. And then years later I found that some of that music was okay. But when it comes to parenting, there was such a pressure on parents to conform to all these hidden rules and ritual regulations that were kind of seen as being a good Christian back in the day. And this mixture of law, unfortunately, had the opposite effect of reaching a young generation, but instead pushed them away. Because these rules were the rules of men. It's a demonic message that we have to do all these activities and jump through all these hoops and live this kind of righteous life in order to be pleasing to God. It brings condemnation or it brings pride. And in the case of many religious denominational institutions, you could see the fruit in the children's life was that of just embarrassment and separation from their friends and the community around them. But more than that, it gave a wrong concept of who Father God is. Father God became this ogre judge at a distance, and we spent our lives trying to please him and trying to get close to him. And that's not the gospel. The gospel is that we can't get closer to him. That when we take law out of grace, we find that God is already satisfied and he's already got pleasure in us. We don't have to feel inferiority and a place of being disqualified from his presence. And this might sound like 101 Christianity for many of us, but for the vast majority of Christians in the world, and as it pertains to parenting, this trying to reach a standard of perfection as parents and then imposing that on children has had radically adverse effects. So Sunday past, we just wanted to honor the moms, those who have diligently persevered through difficult times. And the mothers often are the stay-at-home and foundational parent in the relationship. It shouldn't be so. Husbands and wives should share the role of parenting, but often the burden falls on the moms, and especially single moms. And we want to honor them, and we want to encourage them and mentor them into a way of parenting that is a joy and will yield good fruit. And this shouldn't just, the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. This shouldn't just be the responsibility of single moms and even parents. We as a community should be involved in discipling the next generation, making mom's job easier. And this message is also for dads, is that we need to teach our children an unconditional love of God's acceptance, that they are fully qualified, that nothing can separate them from his love. But in the same way, children who are irresponsible deny themselves certain rights and privileges until they show maturity. But that is because we want to see them grow up and become functioning adults. In the same way, Father God doesn't always give us what we want when we want it. He knows our level of maturity, and he doesn't hold back in anger. He holds back in love. And I think this is the most important message for parenting today. So God bless. Maybe in your time around the family table or at the life group or wherever you share the essence of this message, that you just think about these things and talk about these things and how can we better pass this on to the next generation for the sake of parenting, where we don't swing the pendulum the other direction, where children become the gods in our life and everything revolves around them, to the neglect of spiritual disciplines and the neglect of the local church and generosity and all those things. But I think the main issue for many today is portraying and projecting a good concept of Father God to their children. How do we do that? God bless.